Hello, welcome back to the channel, and I'm also welcoming myself back because I haven't posted in about a week. So, welcome back to me, welcome back to you, and yeah, let's just get straight into this August reset. So, I want to definitely start off with kind of a July reflections, a little bit about how it went personally, and then also my goals. So first, let's talk about it personally and a little bit of how I was feeling about July. I would definitely say July was a pretty good month. There's definitely ups and downs, and a lot of my downs were just having to do with some of my grieving. Someone had passed in my family a couple months ago, and while overall I would say I'm okay, but there are definitely moments where I'm not okay, and that is okay. Everything's okay. I've never had to deal with something like this, and yeah, definitely just something I'm still learning to navigate. I know it's going to be a very long process, but overall I'm good, and the month was pretty good. Let's go on to a better note now. I had a really cool July, lots of family time. We had 4th of July with family. That was definitely a bittersweet gathering, just because the whole family misses this person, but I'm just happy to also know that we have each other as a family, and that we're just there for each other, and I definitely felt that. And yeah, okay, now moving on from that, I also just got back from Vegas, which is why I missed out on a lot of uploads. We went for Evo, which is a fighting game convention, and it was super fun. It was kind of my first experience, and it was a great time. I didn't compete, but we were there for the top 6 for a lot of games. Guilty Gear, Tekken, which is what I was there for, and then also most of Street Fighter. This might not mean anything to you, and that's fine because it barely means anything to me still, but it was a really fun time. I got to see a lot of popular streamers. I saw Peter Park TV. I saw Scara, I saw Cidion, I saw Disguised Toast, and I think I saw Lily Pichu. I saw the hair color, the very bright, vibrant hair color, but I don't know exactly if that was her. But I did see them. They were right next to our section, but they were in the VIP, and we were just in normal. But yeah, that was cool. I got to see them, and that was kind of my whole purpose of going, was just to kind of see a lot of these streamers that I watch. It's just kind of cool seeing that these are real people, and the pros too. I know some of them as well. And seeing them and them just being real people, and they're an actual person and not just this thing behind the screen, which was pretty cool. But yeah, so that was a really cool experience. We had a lot of good food at Vegas as well. Went to Hell's Kitchen, a lot of Vegas foods, and I'll probably go more into that on my next Money Mondays, where I'm going to go over what I spent in Vegas. And that was basically all I did for July. Oh, and it hasn't happened yet, but we've started the process of moving my boyfriend. He got a new place in San Francisco. So I've been helping out with that as well, and prepping and helping him prep for that, and we're doing that this weekend. So that's just something that's going on. So a lot of cool new things, changes, and things as well. So now that that's over, let's go straight into our goals. All right, so health and personal. Let's start with 8K plus steps a day, and I kind of changed the wording on this. It's not shown here, but I did change it to 8K plus steps a day on average. Let's say one day of the week I walk 5K steps, but then for the rest of the week I did 10K steps. I'm gonna count that as a W. And the first week of this goal, I will definitely say I did not hit that goal at all. I actually have it right here. The first week of July, I hit 6,843 steps on average, so I definitely did not hit that at all. But then July 8th through 14th, I hit 9,227 steps on average. So that is a big W. Now moving on to July 15th to 21st, I hit an average of 11,564 steps on average. And this is what I mean by on average. Friday, I only hit 7,967 steps, but on July 20th, I hit 19,000 steps. On a specific day, I might not have hit a certain goal or the 8,000 steps, as long as the average is good. I'll count it. And this is the weekend I was in Vegas, so lots of walking around, as you can see. And then this week it's not looking too good so far. I don't want to count Sunday though. Okay, that's fine. On Monday, I did hit it 8,448. I was still in Vegas, so I was able to hit those steps. Tuesday, I did not hit it at all. We had gotten back really late Monday night, or it was basically already Tuesday morning. We were supposed to get in at 9:45 from Vegas to SFO, but we got delayed and didn't get back until 2:30 a.m. So I was struggling to even be awake. I had to go into office. I still did get some steps in, but I did not hit the goal that day. And then Wednesday, I feel like I was more tired on Wednesday than Tuesday, just because I feel like I had to catch up on sleep. And today's Thursday, and I hit 200, almost 500 steps today. I do have a lot of runs scheduled for my training for my half marathon, so I do believe that that will really help with my average. So we shall see if we hit it, but I will say that I hit this goal, even though I might not have. I'm gonna say that we did it because more than just the steps, I think I really found a good routine in getting those steps in. 80 ounces of water a day. I did not hit this one. I stayed in San Francisco with my boyfriend for like 2 weeks. And I did bring my water bottle, but his water filling like thing in his fridge, the water filter or the water dispenser, it takes so long to fill this. Like, I actually timed it. It takes 5 minutes of me keeping the fridge open and pressing the button, and it's in such a tight, small space. I just did not want to drink water because I didn't want to have to fill this again. So I did not hit that goal at all, whatsoever. I'm gonna try again this month or August and make some changes, as you'll see later on. And then stick to training schedule. I definitely did not do that either. Again, I tried my best, but especially in Vegas, it was over 100 degrees and I don't want to run in that. There was an indoor gym with a treadmill, but I cannot stand the idea of running for more than an hour on a treadmill. We're gonna try again this month, and I really do have to stick to it because it's coming up. And then for finance, we have stick to budget. I think I did this, so I'm gonna check that off. In terms of sticking to budget, I didn't particularly stick to the budget that I set at the very beginning of the month, but as the month went on, I did adjust the budget and gave myself a little more spending money, just because I could tell that I was going to need to spend a little more in Vegas, especially for food. Even though it might not show on my budget that I stuck to it, I went over about $225-ish, but I had that money because I actually put away some stuff when I had a paycheck. So yeah, those were my 4 goals for July. So let's get to the August goals. All right, so health and personal, once again, we hit the 8K steps, or so I say. Now I want to go up to 9K steps, especially because I do have training. I don't want to just use my training sessions as my steps and then be like, okay, I'm not going to walk today, or okay, I'm not going to move at all today. So I'm increasing it as my mileage increases ever so slightly, so that I am not just using my training as my only amount of steps. And then, as I mentioned last month, I did not drink any of my water at all. So now I'm doing 40 ounces of water a day, which is definitely probably not enough still, but I want to just get into the habit of drinking the water. And then this one, it sounds kind of funny, but don't eat when I'm not hungry. I definitely have not the best relationship with food, but the reason for this is I don't want to diet, but I definitely want to work on not eating when I'm not hungry, because there's a lot of times where I just eat to eat. Sometimes it's to help with emotions. Sometimes I see a snack that I've been craving for the longest time, and then I'll just binge it. And I guess alongside this is just try to really listen to my body. I know it's very similar to intuitive eating, but I don't want to label anything. And I definitely want to start in very, very small baby steps. And I think this is a great starting of just not eating when I don't feel hungry. All right, and then my last health and personal goal is going to be stick to my training schedule. I'm gonna have to, or else this half marathon will probably kill me. But to have it more of a SMART goal, I added don't miss more than 3 training sessions this month. So now let's move on to finances. They're pretty quick. The first one is at least 2K extra on my loans. Sounds like a lot, but I have a whole video on this, so if you want to learn more about that and where I'm coming from, it'll be somewhere in the cards or down below. But yeah, so keep that short and simple. Second one is to make my budget more granular. When I went to Vegas, I had spending money, and I had gambling money, and I had food money. and eating out money all in kind of one spending category, which is just miscellaneous. I thought I was gonna want to be the person that doesn't have such a crazy long list of budget and like budgeting out every single thing. But I feel like recently it's been a little hard to budget. Sometimes I see that I spent a little too much on food when I wanted to save a little more for spending, or I spent a little too much on just like clothes, so then I couldn't afford more eating out. I'm not sure quite yet what that would look like, but definitely just try to make it more granular. And then lastly, in just my other, I want to deep clean and declutter my room and kind of my belongings. As I mentioned, my boyfriend's moving and he has a bunch of stuff. And then it also made me think about what it would be like when I move out at some point. And I felt so overwhelmed with the amount of things that I have. I love doing one huge declutter. So I'm gonna try to schedule in a day where I can just declutter all of my stuff. And then the most important part is to schedule a second day where I'm going to donate the things I say I'm gonna donate. That is the one thing that I cannot do. I will declutter almost every single day of my life because it just feels good. But then I will have boxes and bags of clothes and things that are meant to be donated, and they're just in my trunk or they're in a corner of my room, and then that stresses me out. So those are the two action items on that goal, is to actually find a day to declutter and then also find a day to donate as well. All right, so those are my August goals. Now, as a last portion, let's just go over some of the books that I read this month. So I'm back into my reading era since I have a free trial of Kindle Unlimited. So the two books that I read this month were The Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score and Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. If you guys are on Book Talk, BookTube, any book community, Goodreads, I'm sure you guys know what these books are. So I'm not going to go over what the synopsis is, but I will kind of go over how I felt about them. Let's do Love Theoretically first. Love Theoretically, Ali Hazelwood. I did read, my first Ali Hazelwood book was the one that everyone read. I am forgetting the name. The Love Hypothesis. So that was my first one, and I never really got back into reading her or reading her books, but I did enjoy Love Theoretically. I think I enjoyed it slightly more than Love Hypothesis, but not much more. So I gave this book 3 stars, and I liked it. I liked the spice, but I don't recall much. It was a good book, and I think this book was actually the perfect book to get me out of my reading slump. It was something easy, but also easy to put down. I didn't want to read something that was gonna pull me in too much because I just was so busy. But it's just nothing spectacular, nothing great, but it was good. And it was an easy read, and it's the perfect book. So I do recommend it overall. All right, so that was Love Theoretically. So now let's get into The Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. Okay, so, the things I have to say about this book. I don't know when it came out. I assume it's an older book for sure, and I can tell by the writing and the storylines. This book was definitely something, there was just like a lot of crazy things happening, and I'm not someone who needs a book to be so realistic. I can get past a lot of things in my books if it's a good story and if it works well with the story. I can get past a lot of things not being realistic. But this one, I just kept being like, that is so not realistic. It's like another crazy plot twist over crazy plot twist. I wouldn't call them plot twists, but like weird things happening. I gave this book 3 stars, so it's not bad at all. I liked this book in terms of it was hard to put down in a good way. Like, I wanted to know what would happen. But there was some dialogue and some plot points that were kind of, I don't want to say cringe, but a little outdated, and like, it felt almost a little fan fiction-y. But I would say I did like it, even though it was a little cringe, for a lack of a better word. It was still a good book. So overall, I found it enjoyable or entertaining at most, but nothing special again. So these 2 books I think were great ways to hopefully end my reading slump. Things that are easy to read and easy to just get back in. And that was my August reset. I hope you found this useful in some way, whether that be inspiration or just someone to do your reset with. I hope it has helped in some way, and I'll see you guys in the next video.